everyone. Welcome to the Skeins of Dreams knitting podcast. I'm Megha. I'm also known as Skeins of Dreams on Instagram and on Ravelry. And this is the corner of YouTube where I share my knitting journey and my making journey with all of you. Welcome. If you're a new viewer, thank you so much for checking out my video. And if you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for sticking with me for so many months, I guess. And I think I started recording in September, and I must say since then the community has grown exponentially for me. Like, it has been such an amazing experience, and I'm so glad I'm able to share this passion with all of you. And it's been a while since I recorded my last video, and if you saw that, you know that I was moving, and I'm actually in my new house now. I found a nice little corner to record today. I'm not sure this will be the permanent location. I'm trying to set up a craft space for myself, and once that's done, I will be recording from there. But I'm really excited that I got some time this weekend to come and share all the things that I've been working on in the last month or so. I have been very distracted because of the move, so I have cast on a number of items. So I have a lot of things to show you. I thought I'll just take some time to quickly record my progress so that I can update all of you, and also I really missed recording these videos. I did enjoy the time off as well, so it was kind of like I liked it, but I didn't. But I'm glad that I got some time today to come here and share my progress on my projects. So before we get started, I guess I'll just talk a little about the move. So we are now living in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Baljit and I went to school here, and we really like the city, and this was the first city I came to when I moved from India, because I went to school here, obviously. So I lived here for 4 years when I was at school, and then I moved away to Buffalo, and then now we're back. I'm really excited about that. I really like the city, and the weather is a little better than Buffalo in terms of less snow. As much as I love winter, so I can wear all my knits, it's definitely easier if it does not snow as much as it does in Buffalo. But yeah, we're really excited to be back in the city, and we're in a suburb of the city. We're not living in the city. And so yeah, so that's basically the gist of our move. We moved last weekend, and we loaded all our stuff in a truck ourselves. We drove it. The drive from Buffalo to Pittsburgh is about 3.5 to 4 hours, so we drove it ourselves, unloaded the stuff. We had to go back to get the cats, so we went back, cleaned out our apartment there, surrendered it to the management, and then we got our cats in a car to Pittsburgh. It was an experience. Mango was really chilled out about the whole thing. We gave them some sedatives. Like, I went to the vet, requested some sedatives so that they would enjoy the trip a little more, be calmer. It worked on Mango. He was really chilled out, sleeping most of the time, but Oreo is the anxious one, and I don't think the sedative worked much on him. Maybe half an hour he was like calm and composed, but after that it was constant meowing throughout the journey. Fine, he does not like the vibration of the car, so that's, I think, his biggest issue. Finally he realized that if he sat on me in the car, that my lap would somewhat act like a shock absorber. So so towards the end he realized that, and he was sitting on me, and he was a little quieter, but we made it. They're really happy about the new space. They're running up and down the stairs and really excited about the house and the space. We have a backyard, so we took them out in the backyard. a couple times already, so I think the move has gone well. I do have to go back to Buffalo for my job. I will be there next couple of weeks, and then I will provide an update about that once I record the next episode. But yeah, so I'm here, I'm in Pittsburgh, and I'm here to talk about knitting. All right, so without any further distractions, let me move on to my finished objects. So I have two objects that I finished and one finished object from my friend, and I'll talk all about that. But let me first grab the one that was closest to being done the last time I spoke to you, and that is my Nele sweater. So this is my Nele sweater. Um, it's a pattern by Gregoria Fibers. Um, it's a twisted stitch 3x1 rib sweater. The stitch gauge, I believe, is 19 stitches. It recommends holding 3 mohair yarns together, but I knit this in 2 strands of Hobie Diablo, which is a mohair nylon blend, and 1 strand of Hobie Evergreen, which is 100% wool yarn. So I had done a kind of a review of Hobie yarn 2 episodes ago, or I don't remember. It's been a while since I recorded. I've lost all memory of the podcast. So I had done a Hobie yarn review, and for that I had received some yarn from Hobie to review, and I had also purchased some to kind of make up the sweater quantity that I needed. So this was the biggest project that I knit out of the gifted yarn, and I'm actually going to put a picture of me wearing it, which I took for Instagram. I'm not really planning on wearing this today. It's 30 degrees Celsius today. It's a really warm day, and this is 2 strands of mohair and wool. It's going to be, I know I can put it on and everything, but I'm just lazy and I'm exhausted, so I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to put a picture of me wearing. The one big modification I made to the pattern is the pattern has like balloonish sleeves, like you're supposed to decrease the sleeves and then like cinch them at the cuff, but I decided to do a straight sleeve. I don't know why. When I was trying the sweater on, as I finished the body and I was trying it on, I felt like this sweater would really look good with a straight sleeve. And I think I had seen a lot of straight sleeves or bell sleeves in my Instagram like feed and everything, so I was really inspired by those. And I did not do any decreases, I just kept the sleeve straight, but because of how our arm is, it looks like a bell sleeve, like it looks really dramatic at the end, and then it's like more close to the upper arm, like it's fine, it looks fitted on top. So I'm very happy about this sweater. It looks really good when I wear it, and this is definitely a very warm winter sweater, so I'm looking forward to wearing it next season. That being said, I'm not looking forward to winter being here already. I do want to enjoy some of the warmer weather that's coming our way. So yeah, but this has not been worn at all. I finished it, and then it went straight into my bag to be packed away for the move, and I got it out today just to show it to you, and hence you can see there's some folds and everything, but yep, that's my Nele sweater, and I'm really happy how it turned out. So that is finished object number 1. The second finished object is actually what I'm wearing. So when I finished the Nele sweater, I really felt like making something super simple. I had a lot of color work going on in my projects. I did have other simpler knits, but I don't know, I was just in a space to cast on more things, and I really wanted like a fast finished item, because I feel like the last 3 sweaters that I made took me a really long time. and by the end of which I was very annoyed with the process. And I don't know, it was just like the mental space I was in or whatever, but a lot was going on and I just wanted something quick and pretty and which didn't take me too much time to finish. So I cast on this Felix pullover. I actually only have the pattern for the Felix cardigan. This is a pattern by Amy Christophers, who is Savory Knitting. Um, so the Felix pullover and the Felix cardigan are very popular patterns. I had purchased the Felix cardigan pattern like a while ago. I don't even remember when I got it. But I thought it would be easy to just start off with the cardigan stitch counts and just join in the round and then just make the pullover. I didn't really need to purchase the pullover pattern as well. The one thing I must say is that when I looked at the size range, I was kind of unhappy about it because it is very limited sizing. I think the size I knit would have been the last size, so it's not very size inclusive. And back when I purchased it, I was not really aware, or even like I didn't even realize that I should be looking at that. So it was not something that was on my radar, and so I did not pay attention to that. But I mean, I do have a lot of patterns in my library already that are not size inclusive, but because I already purchased them, I'm not gonna let them go to waste. I'm going to knit them. So anyway, I did have to make modifications for the stitch counts because of all the fitting issues that I've spoken about before. I usually tend to cast on a smaller size and then increase to the bust size that I want, and then decide how many stitches to put under the arm so that they fit my bust. So the finished object came out really well. I think this fits me well. The one, okay, before I say anything else, the yarn I used for this is the BC Garn Bio Balance, which is a 50 wool 50 cotton blend. I have used this yarn before to make a ranunculus, and I really love that ranunculus. Like, it is a very pretty sweater. The ranunculus I knit last year, it is in the color rust, and this is color ivory. And both the sweaters, this one and the ranunculus, I held two strands together and knitted on US 10 needles. The one takeaway I had from knitting my ranunculus was that because I knit the short sleeves, the ranunculus sleeves are a little closer to my arm, and what happened because of that is the sweater kind of felted under my armpit. Obviously because I sweat and everything, and it was too close to my underarm, so it kind of felted over there, which I don't really mind because it doesn't really show and it doesn't look bad or anything. But I wanted to try something different to see if I can prevent the felting. And what I did was I kind of, when I hold my arm up like this, you can see that the sweater join is somewhere here, but my underarm is over here. So I have extra fabric under here, which when I do fold kind of goes, which I do when I put my arm down, it kind of goes into my underarm here, and some people may not like that. But I wanted to see if this technique, or not even technique, if by doing this I can maybe delay the felting a little bit, not really have the fabric be too close to my underarm so it felts from all the sweating and the heat and everything. So that's the one big change I made. But other than that, I really enjoy wearing the yarn during summers. Even during spring, if it's a little cooler, I can wear a tank top under this, and then I put this on and I'm really like comfortable. Today I'm not really wearing a tank. It's a warm day, so I'm able to wear this just close to skin, and I'm really happy with how it looks. I'm actually going to insert a picture of me also wearing this so that you can see how it looks when I stand up. It's a really cute short crop kind of a tee, which I can wear with high-waisted jeans, and I really like the look, and I'm glad I made this. Like, it's a little higher neck than the ranunculus that I made. but I really enjoy wearing it, and I have worn it quite a few times since I finished it. Like, it's been a while since I finished it. Like, I think it's been at least 3 weeks. I don't know. I have lost track of all time. So yeah, so this is my Felix pullover. I basically took the stitch counts from the pattern, but I knew they had done some short rows, so I did that, and then I recalculated the raglan increases for myself. I did have to add some. So the raglan increases for the Felix pullover happen in this yarn over section, so it creates a little lace detailing. But because of the modifications I made, my last set of raglan increases, I did not do the lace because I didn't want the lace right around this area, and I just did like regular increases so I can accommodate, so that I thought it would not benefit the garment by having lace in this section, which will go under my arm anyway. So I did some little modifications like that, and I'm very happy with all the changes that I made. I really recommend this yarn. It's a fingering weight yarn, but both the times I've used it, I've held it together. I like held it double stranded and knitted it with US 10 needles. And yeah, I think that's everything I had to say about the Felix pullover. So those were the two things that I finished. And then in my last episode, I probably mentioned this project exchange thing that I have going on with my friend. So there was this whole conversation about the boyfriend curse. So I'm not going to repeat the whole story. Please do check out my previous video if you'd like to hear the story. But the gist of the story is a lot of knitters believe in the boyfriend curse, which means you can't really knit a sweater for your boyfriend. So the curse goes that if you start a sweater for your boyfriend, you are probably going to break up before you finish the sweater, so they don't get the sweater. And it's like an unfinished object in a lot of people's closets. So anyways, I have a really good friend who was not knitting a sweater for her very knit-worthy boyfriend because of this course. So I offered to knit a sweater for her boyfriend, who's also my friend. I offered to knit a sweater for him in exchange for her knitting something for me, and she held up her part of the bargain. She has finished what she was supposed to knit for me, and I have not finished the sweater yet. I just kind of neglected it during the whole moving process. It requires a little more attention than I was able to provide. So anyway, that being said, I am going to finish it. The plan was to give it to him for his birthday in July, and so I still have some time to finish it. And she's not nervous about me not finishing. She knows I'll finish it. It'll just take me a little longer because I'm not a true monogamous knitter. But what she knit for me is this beautiful poncho, which is called the CAMPSIDE poncho. It's a pattern by Alicia Plummer. She has a whole range of garments and stuff. Like in this CAMPSIDE is like a whole collection that Alicia has. There is a sweater, there's a cardigan, I believe, there is a swancho, and then there's a poncho. So the difference between the swancho and the poncho is actually the sleeves. So this one does not have sleeves. So if you see, here is the neck, and then this is the shoulder portion, and then you have this ribbing for the side. And I'm just going to quickly put it on. So I've been wearing this a lot because this is poncho weather. So yeah, that's how it goes. It comes down almost to my sleeve length, and it's so easy to throw this on and then just hang out in it. I've been using it a lot. Let me see if I can stand up a little bit. So that's how long it is. It's just about the length of my t-shirt, and I really enjoy wearing this. It's been a nice addition to my wardrobe for the spring. Uh, if it's a chilly morning or a chilly evening, I just have to throw it on whatever else I'm wearing. And um, the yarn. The yarn is a yarn that I received from a store, from a dyer who is not dyeing anymore. Um, I think the dyer's, the name is Knitcraft and Knittery, and they were dyeing for a while and now they're not. So when they were kind of closing out their dye studio, they put out a, I think through just word of mouth, they told a friend and the friend told me. They were trying to get rid of the stock that they had, so they reached out to a few people. All we had to do was give them a color choice or like a color family that we'd like to have yarn in, and then they were sending whatever they had. Like they'd send you all the skeins in that color so that you have like the same dye lot and everything, and you didn't really have a choice basically. Like you could, they would send you just whatever was available because they were trying to get rid of their stock. So I got really lucky because my friend told me that, because the dyer is a friend of a friend basically. So by word of mouth I got to know about the yarn, and then that they were trying to get rid of some sweater quantities, and so I contacted them and I got some yarn from them. And unfortunately it's not being dyed right now. It's a very beautiful non-superwash 100%, I think it's Australian merino. It's a very pretty yarn, and it's beautifully dyed. And my friend did a good job of knitting this poncho because she did have to alternate skeins because it's a little it's hand dyed and everything, so it needed some skein alteration, alter or all whatever. My friend had to alternate skeins. um, so yeah, so that is the campside poncho. It's a very easy pattern, and I actually, so my friend and I were like, we knit during lunch at work, so I did watch her like making it, and it was very simple, very addictive, and she was done in no time. And it's a very beautiful poncho, and I'm super pleased that I have this in my wardrobe. So this now means I have to finish the sweater that I'm knitting for my friend's boyfriend. No, I do want to finish it. It's just that I've made progress since I last showed it to you. It's just that I haven't had a chance to actually work on it, and it does require some paying attention. It can't be a mindless knit. Hence, I have not made too much progress on it. That being said, I'm going to roll into the works in progress. I apologize. It might seem like I'm rushing. I just want to give a quick update and go back to unpacking and everything. So I'm just going with the flow, recording everything at once, and I will see how long it takes to upload this. But let's talk about my finished. Oh, no, let's talk about my works in progress. So, this is the Metenis pullover. Since I was talking about the project swap, this is what I'm knitting for my friend's boyfriend. This is called the Metenis pullover. It's a design by Zanete Knits. Um, it's a very beautiful colorwork sweater, and I'm past the division for sleeves and body, and hold on, let me see if I can, because it's been sitting in my bag for a while. The needle is gone all wonky. So this is the how the sweater looks so far. It's a very beautiful sweater. The color work is addictive. Like, it's not intuitive. You have to keep looking at the chart because you really, it's not like no two rows are the same basically. They just keep changing. It is symmetric over one pattern repeat, but you have to see what the next row is You have to keep paying attention to the chart. So this is where I am. So here is the sleeve division, and I'm like, I don't know, maybe like 2 inches past the sleeve division, and it's coming out really well. The yarn I'm using for this is Cascade 220 Superwash. This color is called Jet, and the contrast color is this beautiful, almost neon green. This is Madeline Tosh DK. So it's Tosh DK in the color Sea Glass. It's a very, very beautiful yarn. I'm really enjoying the color work in the sense that it flows very easily on my needles. Um, I'm very, very happy with how Cascade 220 is knitting up, and I do feel like I want to use it more for like workhorse sweaters or something like that. Like I'm quite impressed. This is the first time I'm knitting with Cascade 220, so it's a great experience. I'm really happy with this sweater. So I think the last time I showed I was maybe at the sleeve division, so it's not like I've done much since then, but I did make some progress and I'm very happy with my color work tension, and I really can't wait to finish it and then see the color work once it's been blocked and everything. Zanete Knits was a new designer for me with this pattern, and I'm really impressed with their pattern selection, like all their designs on Ravelry, and I do have a few more sweaters that I'm really intrigued by, and I would um, love to make more of those, more of their designs. I mean, so yeah. So that was the Metenis pullover. The next work in progress, perhaps I can talk about my Marit cardigan. So I am knitting the Marit, which is a steek cardigan designed by, oh my god, completely, oh I can't, why can't I remember? I'm sorry, it's completely like gone out of my head. I can't remember the name of the designer. I'll put it on the screen. um, so this is the Marit cardigan. It's a very, very popular design. If you can see the folds, you've seen how long it has been since I took it out of my project bag. But that's how it's been going. Um, I don't remember where I was when I showed you the last time, when I showed this to you the last time. I think I should start using some progress keepers, but this is my Marit. Um, as I mentioned previously, I was initially planning to do it with this green and this salmon pink, but I thought that it was too bright, so I added this beautiful gold, yellow in between. But now I'm back with the salmon pink, so the plan is to have one, like use the salmon pink, then use 3 repeats of the gold, and then come back to the salmon pink. And I think it's working out really well. I'm really pleased with how this is looking. And now that I took this out of my project bag, I'm like, maybe I should be knitting on this. This is really pretty. I do want to mention Rebecca. Oops, I think I moved the camera. Rebecca of the Crea Bea podcast is knitting a Marit. She's knitting the Strange Brew sweater, which is the design by Tin Can Knits, which gives you basically like a recipe for you doing color work yoked sweaters. But she's using the Marit as inspiration, and she's using the motifs from the Marit sweater and incorporated it in a Strange Brew to make a yoked Marit Strange Brew sweater. And I must say her version is so gorgeous. It's so beautiful. So I'm already planning one for myself, something like what, like, totally I copy Rebecca like shamelessly. I will show you another work in progress I have that is completely inspired by her, but I really like her version of the Married Strange Brew mashup, and I want to make it maybe in a DK weight, because this is a fingering weight, so it's taking me a really long time to get through this. But it's very pretty, and I do want to make a yoked Marit. That would be a really nice thing to make. So the other thing I want to talk about quickly is that I had some trouble reading the instructions for this, because this is constructed in a very unique way. Unique to me. It might be something you've heard of or done before, because you've knit a lot of color work sweaters which are made like this. But what was really ingenious, and I'm so glad I found this, because I can use this for my other Marie Wallen project that has also been abandoned for a while, but I need to start knitting on that as well. But so see, you have the steek for the body. I assumed when you reach the underarm, you'll have to add steek stitches for your sleeves, and then knit to your neckline, and then add steek stitches for your neckline, which is what I assumed you would have to do for the sweater. But what Kristin Drysdale, oh my god, yes, that's the person. But what Kristin did for this one is that you don't really add any steek stitches for your armholes. What you do is you basically now knit this sweater in a tube from your waist to your neckline, and you just mark where the top of your armholes will be by binding off a few stitches, by casting off a few stitches. So you mark where your armhole would end, and then you do the neck shaping. And when you're supposed to attach your sleeve, what you do is you've already knit your sleeves, because this is knit bottom up. So you've knit the body, then you knit the two sleeves, and then you cut the armhole steek to attach the sleeves. So once you've knit your sleeve to the length you want, you can measure how long your sleeve measures at this joint, and then you cut the steek. So you cut through the pattern as long as you need for your sleeve. So what this allows you to do is have flexibility of how wide your sleeve needs to be, which is really genius, because if you had done it the other way, if you had knit to the underarm, then added steek stitches, and then added steeks for your sleeves, you would be restricted by how many steek stitches, or how long, or where you added your steek stitches, and how long you've knit the body for your sleeve attachment. But this way you can just knit your sleeve how it fits you, and then decide how much to cut through the fabric to attach your sleeve. I don't know if I'm explaining this the right way, but this was I was really amazed when I figured this out, because on my Marie Wallen sweater I am making modifications to the pattern by knitting it in the round instead of knitting it flat, which usually Marie Wallen designs are. And so I was trying to figure out how to measure my width of the sleeve and where to start my steek for my sleeve, because I want to knit it in the round. But this way I don't have to bother about it at all. I just knit a tube and then mark the top, and then cut as much as I need for attaching the sleeve. It's genius. I very quickly went through that. I'm not sure if you want to talk more about it, please let me know. I can explain it a little better maybe, but I'm really happy how this sweater is looking, and I can't wait to get back to it. That being said, I have cast on a lot of other things, so as you know, as this is how it goes with me, I get distracted and I cast on everything that I feel like, and then I have a million works in progress, and then I get kind of worked up about, oh, I have so many projects I need to finish. This is a never-ending cycle. This is what happens. Oh, and my zip is stuck. Alright, so that was my Marit by Kristin Drysdale. Let's move on to the next work in progress, shall we? Yes, the next work in progress is an entry for the Blankets of Dreams make along, which is a make-along I'm hosting, which is a year-long make-along, and a lot of you are participating in it. Thank you so much. A lot of people um, have joined the Ravelry group. There's a Slack group going, though I have not been active on either platform. I have been looking at Instagram more than any other platform basically. But thank you so much if you're participating. There's going to be prizes like I mentioned at the 3, 6 and 9 month mark, and then of course a grand prize for the 1 year at the 1 year mark. A lot of podcasters are participating as well, and I'm so glad I've been able to motivate some people to get their WIPS out and actually finish them or work on them. And I cast on, or I have plans for a lot of blankets this year. It's just that I've not been able to work on too many things in the last month. But the one constant thing is my half and half triangle strap, which, by the way, I'm in the middle of a row as expected. But this is my half and half triangle strap. I did say that I wouldn't show this until I reach like milestone, and last time I showed you I had finished skein 1 out of 6, and now at this point I joined skein 3, so I finished 2 out of 6 skeins, so I'm a third of the way there. And it has been a really it's like lovely knit. I have been completely obsessed with it. It's been so nice to knit on it when I'm watching TV or when I really want something totally mindless. The yarn is beautiful. I'm using the linen quill by Pearl Soho, which is the recommended yarn. My first color is the red poppy colorway, and the next color is going to be purple smoke. So it's going to be like a bright orange red and then a smoky gray purple. So I'm really excited about finishing this, but I'm only a third of the way, so I have more knitting to do. But it has reached a stage where it sits on my lap as if it is a blanket already, and I really enjoy that. So it's definitely my couch knitting, and I'm really happy I'm working on this. So I decided to work on this exclusively until I finish this and then work on other blanket projects, because if I have multiple blanket projects going on, I will not finish anything within the year. Like, they all will take a substantial amount of time to finish. So I'm thinking I will focus on one blanket project at a time. At least I'll try to, and then we'll see how it goes. So, yep, that is another work in progress. Now, suddenly I'm reminded of the fact that I have another work in progress which I did not even bring with me. I think I may have to limit this video by only talking about a few. That's how many works in progresses. That's how many works in progress I have. Oh my god. Okay. So, the other work in progress I want to talk about is I cast on for a no frills sweater, and this is another one completely inspired by Rebecca of the Crea Bea podcast. Rebecca was hosting the Cone Along a few weeks ago. Actually, it ended maybe a month ago, because Rebecca was doing a collaboration with Woolly Knit, and I'm sure everybody already knows about it. So when Rebecca was hosting the Make Along, Knit Along, or Cone Along basically, there was a coupon available, or a discount code available to purchase some cones of yarn at Woolly Knit, and obviously I had to participate in it. So I had bought this beautiful cone of merino wool from Woolly Knit in the color Tiara Beige Nep. So this is a very beautiful tweedy yarn. It has bits of tweed, and it's a merino yarn. It does come in a cone, but I have wound off a part of the cone to knit with, actually, so that I don't have to carry the cone around everywhere. And I cast on for a no frill sweater. Rebecca is a really big proponent of the no frill sweater. She really loves making them, and I had purchased the pattern a while ago again, and I had never actually knitted. So I thought, you know what, I'm dedicating this sweater to Rebecca completely. I'm knitting with yarn she inspired me to purchase. I'm knitting a sweater she inspired me to knit. So it's a very small beginning. I have just cast on the other day, and I'm holding the yarn double, so it's 2 strands on 4 millimeters, so US 6 needles, and I finished the short rows and I'm doing the raglan, and I just love the tweedy nature of this fabric. Actually, Rebecca has, not in the same color, but she has a tweedy no frill sweater as well, and since I've been seeing that, I've been thinking about it, and every time it comes up, because she's knitting another no frills or she's wearing it on one of her episodes, I just keep looking at it and I'm like, I want it, I want it, I want it. So I was like, okay, you know what, I'm just going to cast on. I might not finish it soon. It might go abandoned for a while I finish other things which are on deadline and everything, but I know I've cast it on and I can work on it whenever I feel like. I'm past the short row point, so I can actually like just knit raglan and creases, like it's really brainless. So I'm really enjoying it, and the yarn is so beautiful. It is so lovely to knit with. So I bought a cone of the merino cone, which is this one, and I also have a cone of the British wool, and that's also tweed in white. So I had a total theme going when I placed my order at Woolly Knit. It's been I think I got it in March or something. I never showed it on the podcast. By the way, I have been buying yarn and I have not been sharing it because I don't know, I don't feel like every time I have an acquisition I don't want to talk about it, but I obviously will talk about the yarn when I am actually knitting with it. So this was a purchase I made in March, but I'm so happy with how it's knitting. It's very soft and I can't wait to wash it, because I'm sure once I wash it it'll bloom a little and it'll become softer, and I'm so happy. So yes, thank you so much, Rebecca. This is totally for you. Dedicated to you, but for me, of course. Inspired by you, I guess. Yep, so that is my no frill sweater. And then I cast on something this morning. Remember when I said that I'm not going to sign up for any test knits? I signed up, okay, I'll back up. Last year, I signed up for 13 test knits, 11 of which I finished. 2 I wasn't able to finish for various reasons. We will not get into those. But having so many deadlines to work on last year, I decided I'm not gonna do as many test knits this year. So I knew it would be difficult to go from 13 to 0. So I did mentally allow myself to sign up for at least 1 or 2, and not parallelly. The biggest issue I did last year was I had multiple test knits going at the same time, and so I would finish one on a deadline and then have to knit on another one on a deadline, so I was getting too worked up about it. And then all the things I wanted to knit, which were like older stuff in my queue, that I was never getting to them. So this year, because I haven't signed up for many test knits, is why I have been casting on like a crazy person. But finally, one of a very beautiful designer, basically, she was coming out with a test knit for a cardigan which looked really, really beautiful, and I really wanted to cast on for it. I really wanted to sign up for the test knit, and I did, and I got it. So I cast on for it this morning. So the designer is called, and I'm going to butcher this probably, I think it's called Vert and Rose. It's a French designer. Alexandra is her name. She's a new designer, very, very beautiful designs. I think this is only the third pattern that she is coming out with, and her aesthetic is beautiful. It's so lovely. I'm gonna put her name on the screen here, so I don't butcher it too many times. But Alexandra gave out, I think, came out with a test call end of last week for her new cardigan called the Isa, and I have to ask her if that's how it's pronounced. It's a beautiful lace panel cardigan worked in the flat, and then it's a little, I think it's a drop shoulder construction. It looks really pretty. She made her sample in a cotton merino blend, so it's a beautiful summer cardigan. But I had initially planned on making it a summer cardigan as well, so I had tried to swatch with some summer yarns that I had, but I didn't get gauge, so I didn't want to force it. So I got gauge with 100% wool, and I decided that this is what it's meant to be. If it was not a test knit, I would have probably fudged the gauge a little or knit at a different gauge and adjusted which size I knit or something like that. But because it's a test knit, I wanted to stick with the recommended gauge, and so I got gauge with 100% wool. The cast on is not much to show. I'm actually going to put a picture of the cardigan itself so you can see it on the screen. But this is how much I've just cast on. It's just the ribbing part. Of course, I'm in the middle of a row, so that's how it's going. I cast on, I'm doing ribbing, and the yarn is Knitting for Olive Heavy Merino in the color Terracotta Rose. It's a beautiful, beautiful dusty pink. I really think that this looks good on my complexion, and I really like pink, of course, you know. So I'm very excited to finish this cardigan, and the gauge is like 18 stitches, so it is definitely going to be a quick knit. It's knit on 4.5 millimeter needles. Alexandra has a beautiful two beautiful patterns out already. Uh, one of her other patterns, called the Ola cardigan, I think, is very nice. It's a simple cardigan with like cable detailing on the sleeves, and it's so beautiful. So I purchased that pattern. It was released recently, and I was thinking about casting on, but then she showed these on. She showed the Isa cardigan on her Instagram, and she did mention quite a few times that the test call would be coming out soon. So I basically I was stalking her Instagram profile for a while to watch out for the test call, and then finally I applied for the test and everything. So I cast on just this morning, and it's going beautifully. I do like the Knitting for Olive Heavy Merino yarn. I don't think it's as nice as the fingering weight, but I do really like knitting with it. I swatched and I washed and blocked my swatch, so the fabric looks really beautiful. So I'm definitely enjoying knitting with this yarn. You would think that's all, but that's not it. I think I'm missing a work in progress, and I'm going to go grab it. So the hopefully last work in progress I'm going to share with you is a vest that I cast on a week ago, maybe 10 days ago. So Selma of Little Big Knits, you all definitely have seen her episodes, her podcast. She makes a lot of vests, and I have been eyeing vests for a while, and I've made one for my college professor, but I never really made one for myself. So Selma completely inspired me to actually cast on for a vest. I thought it would be a perfect spring, even fall project, and I happened to stumble upon this pattern called the Reflections Vest by Heidi Kirmaier. I think that's how her name is pronounced. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing it. Heidi's like super well known and everything, so I saw the Reflections Vest pattern, and I really liked the cable detailing on it, and for some reason I felt like I need to knit more cables. And I think what attracted me a lot to the pattern was the yarn that it was knit in and the color. The color is a beautiful saturated pink. It's so gorgeous, and the vest looks so beautiful to me. So I decided to knit it. I didn't really want a pink vest. I do have a lot of pink other things going on. So I wanted the vest in a very saturated color because I felt like with a white buttoned up shirt or something, it will look really nice if the vest is like super saturated in color. So I got this beautiful yarn, which is the fiber company Acadia, which is a wool, alpaca, and silk blend, if I'm not mistaken. I'll put it on the screen if I am, but the Acadia it's a gorgeous yarn, and I bought it in this lovely jack pine color, which is this really bright. It's I'm looking at the grass outside and it's almost as bright as the grass, like it's brighter than the grass outside. So it's this beautiful green color which is called jack pine, and I really love the color so much, so I decided to knit the vest in it, and this is what I've knit so far. uh, you knit this vest, you first knit one front panel, one back panel till the underarm, then you cast on for the back, you pick up stitches at the shoulder, so that's my pickup. You pick up stitches, knit the back, and then join the panels and the back in the round, and then you continue doing the cables. You won't believe how simple these cables are. They look like they are complicated, but they're very simple cables. And I would almost call this a mindless and interesting knit, because you knit just simply for a while, and then you have one row of cable, and then next 7 rows you're just knitting, quite like everything else is stockinette. Only in this panel you have knits and pearls. Basically, it's really easy to follow instructions. I really like how the vest is turning out. The light is actually blowing out the color a little bit. It's much brighter in person than it's showing up on screen probably. um, but yeah, I am very happy with this vest, and the yarn is so soft and so beautiful. Like it's really amazing. Like I really like fiber company yarns as it is, and I've never knit with the Acadia before, and this is just such a luxurious yarn. And I think because of the alpaca and silk, there's definitely a lot of good drape, but I also think the silk is making it a little like lighter. So I'm pretty sure I'll be able to wear this in the spring and fall very easily. And I do have to go to conferences sometimes for work and everything, so I do wear like formal clothes. So I'm looking forward to wearing a buttoned up shirt, this vest, and a blazer. It will look really cool. I'm really excited about it. But yeah, so this is another work in progress, and I think I very quickly, I don't know how quick, I always try to make these episodes less than an hour, but it never works out. I'll have to see how long this episode is today. I try to keep the recording as simple as possible so that I just have to like patch all these little videos together and then put it out. I don't know how much editing I will have to do and everything, but I never end up talking for less than an hour. I think 1 hour is my minimum possible time. But I also had a lot of things to talk about because I have not recorded in such a long while, so I think it's okay. But you have basically seen how distracted I am because I've been casting on everything, knitting on everything, making a little bit progress here and there, but I'm happy. And this episode, I do have an acquisition section. I have been in Pittsburgh for 1 week and I had to go and check out a local yarn store. So I found this yarn store online, like I just looked up on Google and I went to this yarn store called it's called McWalker Yarns. It's about 30-minute drive less than that, maybe 20-25 minute drive from my house. I visited the store day before yesterday. It's a beautiful store, like it's just gorgeous. They have so many like yarns at the store which I had never even heard of. Like it was amazing to go see this store, and I can't believe this is like one of my local yarn stores. I'm in deep trouble. My yarn purchasing, yarn collecting madness is going to um, grow exponentially if I keep visiting this store. It's ridiculous. But I was really really happy I went to the store. There were so many local yarns and dyers that I'd never heard of, and it was really so much fun to go visit the store. And I really miss actually going to a store and feeling the yarn and then making purchases. So I obviously walked out with a sweater quantity. Like, what am I if not a sweater quantity person? So I did want to show it on this episode because I bought it like day before yesterday, and it's here because I went to a yarn store and purchased it. I didn't have to wait for it to be delivered. I found this very beautiful woolly wool. This is called Glenfiddich wool. I have never heard of them. Apparently, the sheep are local to Pennsylvania, and I think the spinning gets done in New Jersey, and then they ship it back to be sold in Pennsylvania or something like that. Like, the I may have to confirm that, but it's local. Like that's what it is. And it's the reason I got attracted to this was because it's 100% border Leicester wool. I have never heard of border Leicester. Like, of course, like it's a very breed specific yarn, and I touched it and it's very soft. I would say Blueface Leicester is softer than this, but then this is not as toothy as say Jacob's wool. I think Jacob's wool is very workhorse outerwear yarn, which is a little toothier, but I would say this is definitely softer. Like I can wear this close to skin. I can also wear Rama, which is Norwegian wool close to skin. So I think it matters. Like I mean, it's relative, right, to the person. But I was really excited that this is a breed I had never heard of, and this is a light worsted. They call it light worsted. It's 200 yards in 100 grams. Custom spun to our specifications at Gurdy Run Woolen Mill is what it says. They do have a website. I have not tried to look at their website. It's just www.glenfiddich.wool.com. That's how you spell Glenfiddich. But yeah, I got a sweater quantity of this. I don't think I can do like cables or anything for my size with the skeins I bought like 6 skeins. But I definitely think I can get a simple throw on easy sweater done with this, because I do think it'll be a good winter sweater. Like I don't want to make it a short sleeve sweater or anything, so I'm gonna cast on something really simple, knit the sleeves and then knit the body till I am able to basically till I run out of yarn or something. But this was the first thing I did after coming to Pittsburgh: go buy yarn. And then after I came back from this yarn store, we were driving, we were close to the house, and we just crossed this plaza which had this board called Kid You Not. Kid, U is spelled EWE, Not is spelled KNOT, and I was like, this sounds like a yarn store to me. So I went online and looked it up, and there is literally another yarn store 5 minutes from my house. Like I will hit the yarn store before I hit my grocery store. It's that close. That is dangerous. Very, very dangerous. So this morning I actually went and visited them very quickly, sneaky look at everything they've got. It's a very beautiful store, smaller than McWalker yarns, but they definitely have a beautiful selection of yarns, and they do have a few things that I had never heard of. And I'm looking forward to visiting them more frequently, but I'm pleased to say I walked out of there without a purchase. I also felt like sometimes I go to local stores and I feel bad when I don't buy anything. Not that they're pressuring you, but I just feel like I want to support the local yarn stores and everything. But this one, because it's so close to my house, I do know I will basically live there. I did not purchase anything today. I will go back. Don't worry, I will go back. I know I don't have to feel bad and everything, but I it's yarn. How can I not buy yarn, right? But yeah, so that has been my entire knitting um, journey, madness, whatever you want to call it, for the last 1 month or so. I don't remember when the last episode came out, but yep, I am still here, still knitting, still going crazy about yarn. All right. I think that's everything for today that I wanted to cover. I will be back on my scheduling, uh, regular podcasting schedule soon. But I will keep you posted. I think the next episode might be 2 to 3 weeks from today. But yeah, I will be back with more stuff, and I am actually in the process of setting up my craft room, so there will be a permanent location for me to record, and I will definitely be sharing my yarn organization and craft room organization with you when I get to it. I have to first paint a wall because right now it's pink in color because of the little girl living there previously. I do not want it to be pink. I do like pink, but I just don't want the wall to be pink. So I'm in the process of painting over that wall, and then I'll start setting up my crafty stuff over there. So we're still in the process of setting up the house and everything, so that's taking up most of our time. And then I go back to work on Monday. I took a week off from work just to get the whole move done. And Monday I go back to work, so we will still be unpacking, but then also be working, so it'll go slower than it did this week. But yep, exciting. A lot of things are happening, a lot of knitting is happening, and thank you so much if you watched till the end. I thought I will come here, quickly record half an hour, and be out. Who was I kidding? This took a while. All right, that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, take care, and happy crafting.